Behind every fearless player, there's a fearless coach who refuses to let them be anything but the best. Hello and welcome to the Empowered Women season of Talk and Beyond, where I bring in the most dynamic mix of women who have managed to break all the barriers and become the best version of themselves. One such lady is here with me today who dared to be different at an age people refuse to try. She is an ontological coach who focuses on change management and assisting people professionally and personally to help them bring a balance of success and happiness, or in other words, help them discover their aha moment. She's on a mission to empower 10,000 women to win the game of change by providing the tools to lead a stress free and meaningful life. She has also authored the Amazon's bestseller book, The Game of Change. Presenting to you, Geeta Ramakrishnan. Hello, Ms. Geeta. Welcome to the show.
Hi Priyanka, thank you first of all for the awesome introduction. I hope I live up to it. And I also want to thank you for allowing me to be there and air my views and connect to more women and more people. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I think that's the need of the hour. And before we begin diving into your story, I would actually want to know what do you mean by ontological coach? A term not commonly known to a lot of us. How about we break it down for our viewers and go a little into the backstory of its origin in your life as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I get this all the time because, as you said, it's not a very commonly used word. And even if you look up the Google or dictionary, you don't get the apt, definition. So, ontological coach is nothing but an introspective way of coaching. So, it comes under the heading of life coach. So, I have the easy part over here. So, what I do is I have to hold a mirror to people, those who come to me. They come to me under stress, they have questions, they need answers. I don't give them any answers because I believe each and every one of us are equally intelligent. And we have that intuitive knowledge within us, but because of the stress and we are so overwhelmed with our day-to-day work and it's hidden somewhere missing. So I ask questions and allow people to introspect and get their own answers. So
Okay.
that's my amazing part. Yes. That easy? Not really, but yeah, it is actually if you go to it's a very interesting journey for me. So since you asked me how I started the whole journey myself and chose this particular stream, is what I am today. You could maybe I feel I'm more calm and collected. I'm able to handle everything that is happening around me. But even 20 years back, I was like the opposite. So when I started life and I came newlywed to Dubai to start my life here and got married, have two children, and it all started young for me. And also wanted to be part of a professional life, and I wanted to be my best in everything naturally, right? And I think as women, we try to do a little bit extra than men, like, to be seen as successful, strong. And so, all that, the opposite happened to me. Instead of being strong and getting my best at work and at home, I started becoming very, well, how do you call it? Very defensive, complaining all the time. I'm not able to function because of this, because of that, blaming everybody. And then at some point, it started affecting my health. I constant headaches, and the doctor will say, "You're fine, you're fit." So that's when I decided this something is wrong and I have to do something about it. And luckily, a friend suggested that this is a coach available. And so I got myself a mentor coach, and it was so good. My life changed. And all this person did was like what you do now. He pointed a mirror and said, "What makes you think you're right always?" And then like I was like, that's when my whole journey changed. And that's why as a woman, I resonate with other women's struggle. I see even the younger generation going through the same struggle even now, and I want to put myself out there and offer whatever I can.
That's superb. I think asking the right questions is an art in itself. And if you can do that, make people introspect in their own lives, I think that's one of the biggest treasures that you already have with you. Moving on. You started your career at the age of 50, which deceives the notion of passion dying out with age. What were the challenges you faced in this process, and how did you stay at it?
Okay, so I will look at your question this way.
Mhm.
So in coaching itself, what we do is we make use of, like, I make use of languaging
Okay.
and emotions and my body position itself. These
Okay.
are the three things I use as a tool to help other people change. So when people come to me like confused, or when they are like whatever they come, I am actually very it gives me high energy to help, to be able to enable them to
Correct.
help themselves. So, and even in this journey, like I said, it was like a transition. I was in HR, I was part of HR, and unconsciously, with people, always surrounded by people, helping people, learning about people. So it was a natural transition for me. So when I took up, I said at this, and actually, even if it's 50, age is not, it's not even a barrier according to me. Like, I'll
Sure.
give you an example. I remember when I was in the 10th grade, my English teacher told the whole class that there was this poet called Lord Byron. You even
Okay.
remember his name. And he
Okay.
died at a young age of 35. And
Uh-huh.
the whole class burst out laughing. I mean, we were all 16-year-old teenagers. What did you expect?
Correct.
Because at that time, we thought 35 was very old. And we
Hmm.
were wondering why the teacher said young. So I think age is very notional. And I coach people on change management. And I have seen so many people in their 60s, 70s, 80s learning new skills. And there's nothing, and even science says that there's nothing, there, it's a notion that we believe that as you age you decline. It's only in your head, but science does not favor that. It says otherwise. So yeah, there I am.
Did you have any kind of, like a barrier, as they say, in change management, or as an ontological coach, you should be in between these ages. You should have had these kind of, gather this kind of an information or have this kind of a degree. Did you ever have such a problem, or how did you probably make this interesting jump? And what were the learnings throughout your time?
Yeah, so what I did is I got myself certified,
Okay.
because while I have the knowledge and I have my, say, personal experience, and I feel that's not enough to put it out there for people to be able to trust me. Imagine somebody has to come and meet me in the first meeting, be able to, open out his or her heart. It's not an easy thing for people.
Right.
So I am trained to offer that safe space where people can like throw up anything and feel very safe, and feel that I won't be repeating this to anybody else. So
Correct.
that's a training I got. And in fact, the age actually helped me. Like, if I was 20 and an ontological coach, and like a 30, 40-year old person comes to me, and they'll wonder, what does she know?
True.
Whereas now I keep telling people that I'm not only offering my training, science backed knowledge, also offering my experience, my life experience. So it's
Yeah,
very authentic. Something that I'm offering is very strong.
absolutely. So, how long has it been since you are an ontological coach, and how many people have you coached?
So I have been coaching people from the last 5 to 6 years, when I'm trained, like I'm like officially trained, and I have an AACC certification.
Okay.
And I have, so we do coaching hours. So I have about, say, 300 plus coaching hours.
Wow. All right. So, what was your learning throughout? How different are people, and how different are their problems?
Oh, people come with all sorts of problems, but the base of all problem that I realize, because every time I coach, I learn. I mean, not only that they can take something out of me,
True.
it's like a win-win situation, because I feel, yeah, this is what I'm doing is correct. Like, I'm grounding my thoughts and I'm learning lessons from others. But it is always the fear. It's an underlying thing of fear. The fear of the unknown future, which is natural, right? We don't know
Right.
what's going to happen tomorrow,
Hmm.
and we bring our past perceptions and experiences,
Okay.
and 90% of them are negative.
Okay.
Like, oh, this didn't happen to me. Like, your mother would have done like a million things good for you, but you'll remember the two that didn't work.
Correct.
Oh, you were so mean to me that day, right? Somehow, I'm just giving a random example, but it's
Right.
very relatable
Yeah.
because it's a problem of our mind. That's how our mind is trained to catch on all the negative, and it's in a way it is its defense mechanism, which works well at certain points. But
Okay.
we are constantly, looking when you're constantly in stress, looking at the negative things and taking even the future. I don't know what will happen. Will I have my job? Will I have this? And what happens to your body is it goes into a fight or flight mode.
Right.
That is its way of protecting itself.
Correct.
But unfortunately, at that time, the critical thinking, the intuitive power of the brain is shut down.
Right.
And you can never offer your best at that time.
Correct.
So this is something that I noticed in most people. And once everyone learns to take a step back, to
Right.
actually go easy a little, instead of in fact, even when I keep talking to this about this to my husband, and he's like a go-getter, and he couldn't for years understand what, and I tell him slow down. He says, "What's wrong with you? I will miss the bus if I slow down." But sometimes, once in a way, if you slow down and you look back, you audit why am I doing this, for what,
Yeah.
how is it happening, and it's a good thing. So
Correct.
that's the greatest learning for me, and I noticed that's like common underlying factor for many people.
So overthinking is what I can probably see from the entire conversation that we've had. A lot of people are overthinking about what future holds, right?
Yeah, it's also the overwhelm because we
Yeah.
have we multitask and we bring on so much in to ourselves.
Yeah.
Say compared to two generation back when they sleep early, they maybe wake up early, but they don't watch too much social media, TV. Their life is just having a laugh with the neighbor.
Right.
Whereas now it's a need of the hour. You can't avoid it 100%,
Correct.
but that overwhelm is what clogs your brain, doesn't allow you to give your best.
Yeah. Also, given the pandemic, I think a lot of people have tuned into social media more so because they are a lot more available to it, right?
That's true. So it's sometimes you can hear more of the fatigue now.
Right. Right.
You're so mentally tired and fatigued with all this, especially now, because there's Zoom meetings and the meeting office, there's no office hours. It's like
Right.
blurred away, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah.
Right. All right, jumping to a macro phenomenon, women participation in workforce in India is like 8 to 9%. For context, this is lower than the countries like Bangladesh as well. Over the next 5 years, how do you see this improve? And what are some of the initiatives to empower women workforce in India that you see are doing well practically?
Actually, I think the pandemic has brought a good amount of mind shift.
Right.
So, with work from home that has been happening, of course, a lot of people have lost jobs and the whole how you work changes. But
Yeah.
this work from home, as I'm hearing, has offered a lot of opportunity for even women who find that going to the office, being there, being unavailable for their children or house or for whatever reason, has now been taken away from the equation.
Correct.
So they can say be in south of India and work for an IT company in Delhi probably,
Yeah.
or even in US. Nothing stops them, and I have seen my daughter's friend actually doing it very successfully. Probably something that would not be available, or we would not be thinking of that type of work even there.
Right.
And also, I think the socially our the people's mindset is changing,
Mhm.
more accepting to women working, which was not so before. Like this, I don't I it's a cultural thing, perhaps, I don't know. Even in social stratas, it's not only in the poor that the women work or don't work. Even amongst the rich, you can be a doctor, and then you will hear like your in-laws saying that, acha, now that you have a comfortable house, come on, let's have babies and be happy, let's be happy. They are not saying because they are mean, but that's a natural transition for people in their mind, and a lot of women are also accepting of that.
Correct.
So now that I see a change over there, more talks like this and people listening to this, I hope they change. Especially, I want mothers to change this talk with their daughters.
Right.
not only sons, you know. It's sometimes as like it's I have heard so many times as a mother saying that, Acha, now you get married and you go to another house, finish, kalas, my responsibility is over. You
Right.
know, those are some ways pushing back women from being more out there. Then the women turn to be too aggressive, and then they are not acceptable in society, like they are, oh, this is not how you have to be, right?
Correct. Correct.
Whereas the mindset, when it so slowly changes, and you have a supportive family and you have environment like work from home. And I also know the government of India is doing a lot for supporting women. They are enabling creches, or at least in the workplace or close to the workplace. And like recently I saw so many women ministers who have with the cabinet shift. I'm seeing so many women ministers. I'm so happy,
Yeah.
and they're doing actual steps. It's a cultural change to happen in the rural and the urban areas, but I feel the shift is happening, and work from home and this new work culture is something that you can piggyback on. Now, I'm
Right.
not saying that work will fall on you and things will happen to you, but you have to also push yourself out there, upskill whatever you learn, or learn a new skill. Maybe you have got a BCom degree, but why not do something in computers, learn a new language? You should not we should not put a blank on ourselves, and we should be open. That it's also important that we as women are open to opportunities and grab them, and not wait for it to fall on our head. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's very well put, in fact, Ms. Geeta. So I've also seen when there is opportunity equally for men and women, a lot of women have succumbed to being less proactive, right? So they haven't really gone out there and done their best to probably achieve what they had to or they could. They they are okay with letting themselves back, and they are okay with being the second breadwinner and not the primary one, right?
Yes,
So, which
yes.
is why this phenomenon of women participation, which is very, very low in our country, is because women are letting themselves be the second one and not the primary one.
Absolutely. And also in the corporate, I know there are many corporates, there's a distinction of salary between men and women, whereas women even can give the best or even better than men. So I wish the remunerations and whatever is there is not based on gender at all.
Right.
It's on, I am a person and I bring to the table what I bring to the table,
True.
As long as the corporates also change that, it'll be great.
I agree. I agree. Absolutely. Lastly, mental well being is always taken for granted. How can we address the root cause in our day to day lives or even discover that we need to seek help from a professional?
Yeah, I know about mental well-being, like it's even now a taboo. But having said that, there are a lot of people like you and others who are talking about it and making and just putting it out there. So when people hear that, there are thousands of others who are also suffering the same way, then you will at least take the initiative to go and seek help.
Right.
And it's okay to seek help. If it could be, like I said, a fatigue in work, or it could be like different ranges of depression.
Correct.
It's like common cold and cough, some of them. It just requires a handling of it. And there are experts out there who will help these people. It's about you going and seeking help.
Correct.
And I think the pandemic has made this awareness, helped in making this awareness, available to people, known to people. And more than anything, the root cause again of this mental wellness is how you are as a person, how you are able to be out there, present yourself out there as confident or stressed. The moment you're stressed, you're allowing others. If you're living, say, by other standard, I have seen this happen. Like, I have to be, this is Geeta and I have to behave like this. Okay, so I am on the other side of 50, so I have to behave like this. So then I'm conditioning myself and not allowing myself to blossom out there.
Correct.
So if I'm living to my standards, that's a great way of living. Not I'm not saying be wild, but that helps in becoming confident
Right.
versus being stressed. You're stressed when you're living according to other what others want you to be. So that would mean that you're, if in the corporate world you're accepting more than you can chew, you can't say no. It doesn't look nice. Even at home, you come, you're cooking, you're doing that, you're doing this. Maybe you don't want to ask for help because how can I ask for help?
Right.
Things like that.
Right.
Small things, but that starts affecting, adding to your stress. When you add to your stress, it affects your mental health and your physical health,
Okay.
both.
Right.
So yeah, so that's when the problem starts. And it could be like, what happens, I feel, is how it actually helps is or does not help, is it inflames yourself. Each and every cell of your body starts getting inflamed with the stress,
Got it.
and that's when you get inflammatory diseases, which could start from headaches with no cause. People have Many people are talking about fibromyalgia now. That's aches and pain in your body with no apparent cause.
Yeah.
Or it could be the PCODs, the sleep disorders. It can even be physically manifested like diabetes, obesity, and cardiac disease. All of this, are underlying factor is stress. There
Right.
could be genetic and that and this, but major part is stress.
Correct.
Now, to remove stress, you can, it's not like a thing that you remove stress, right? But you can add confidence in yourself. Like, I'm okay where I am. I have a goal, but my path might be difficult. I might not achieve this goal, but I could still reach here. And
Right.
that's okay. Like, I make mistakes, I learn from it. You need that attitude. It's a learning mindset, I call it,
Correct.
where you're curious, you're open. As long as you are going in on that direction, your confidence increases, and then your stress slowly decreases. It's a balance.
Right.
And that's where you are less prone to mental disease. But having said that, sometimes you can be depressed for no reason at all.
Right.
But seeking help is very important.
Correct.
As long as you remove the shame out of it, it's like, okay, I'm sick, I need my mental and physical well-being to be on the upside, and you go and seek help. That's it.
Yes. More than shame, I think a lot of people take it for granted as well. They actually think that they can do it themselves. They can be unstressed or they can relax their minds themselves. But it's very
That's,
hard
yeah.
before you get a guided coach or someone who can probably direct you to that path, right?
Yeah, that's very true. It's a very important point that you said, that there are a lot, even amongst my friends and peers, who say that, yeah, I'll meditate, I'll do yoga, and I'll be all right.
Correct.
But there are certain things that some needs treatment, some needs medicine. You can't avoid it. So why not go and seek? You can
Right.
take a call later on, but going out and seeking is what you really need to do.
Right, right. All right. This has been a fun conversation, Ms. Geeta. I've loved interacting with you, and I think this has opened up some parts of my brains as well. But before I let you
Awesome.
go, I have a small session which is called the rapid fire round. This is going to be something very personal to you, and you cannot really take time to pick and choose and give your answers. It's going to be rapid. All right? You ready?
Okay, ready.
Okay, your first question. Your most challenging move as a coach?
My most challenging move as a coach is to be authentic.
Okay. Why is it
Yeah.
why is it so challenging?
Why is it so? Is because then I cannot say, it's like I cannot tell you don't tell lies and I am telling lies. I strongly believe in it.
Correct.
Like I believe it's one of the qualities that anyone should have, and especially as a coach you should have, because it comes through. The whatever my energy is comes through, and the other person is getting it. So sometimes it is challenging, depends on, like, on the circumstances. Some days you're tired, you're not out there, and you're telling that person, no, you have to be energetic. It does not is not happening, right? So
Right.
that's challenging sometimes, because
Yes,
I'm a human
absolutely.
being.
You could be facing challenges, but you cannot be showing out there. That's a lot of challenging work. Yes. Your favorite part being a coach.
My favorite part is, like, every time I notice, every time it happens that I finish a conversation, I ask them, what is your takeaway? And there are bells ringing in my head, checking, oh yeah, for me too, tick, tick,
Right.
tick. Yeah, so it's a learning for me. So I consider that every conversation I'm having, I'm learning and taking away as much. So I just feel blessed with this in the profession that I am.
Correct. Very nice. Three tips or the three tricks to instantly make you feel better.
The easiest one is to smile, like your beautiful smile, right? See, when you smile, what happens is, and you don't need to have, you can fake it till you make it. I believe in that because it's a brain hack. The moment you smile, your body thinks it's this person is very happy, and it induces like happy hormones in your system from the brains.
Correct.
So you get a shift in the energy, even if you're feeling low, very tired, stressful day, you smile and it just perks you up.
Yes. Right.
So that's,
Good.
yeah, that's a great one. So you asked for three, right?
Right.
Okay, another one is when my body position, like I was mentioning before, the moment, or even you could say that, I'm having this interview and I am like, I'm not like this, free flowing. I like to prepare. I'm one of those. So instead of telling myself that I'm nervous, I use the word I'm excited,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
So again, it's a trick. You're tricking your body into believing that I'm excited, and it gives me that boost. It gives
Correct.
me that confidence.
Right.
And you can use it anywhere in your life, before entering a meeting, before entering a difficult conversation. I'm excited that something is going to turn out,
Yes.
and then your energy just boosts. And similarly, when you walk, see, like right now, I'm standing straight, like somebody has pulled my hair, and
Right.
my shoulder is stretched out but relaxed.
Okay.
The moment I do this, I feel grounded. You just try it, right? You like sit straight and your shoulder upright, and then yes, yeah.
Okay.
You see a difference, yeah? You can
Okay.
feel that difference.
Yes.
So whenever you are stressed, little agitated, that is the moment you assume this body position, your energy shifts.
Oh, okay. I think we should all try that. Next, most common mistakes or problems you see in your client.
They think I have the solution and another person have the solution, and it is not my problem, it's always your problem and I have to deal with it.
Right.
For
Oh,
me, that's like basically wrong, and I always start the other way around because very simple. Because I can control myself, my thoughts, how I perceive things, my feelings, everything, my emotions. I cannot control yours,
yes.
right?
That's very right.
So many people come and tell me, I want my husband to change, my wife to change, my colleague to change. No, you change. You
Right.
change and they'll change.
Right.
It's very powerful.
Right. Very nice. All right. Two things you wish you knew earlier than you did.
So when I was younger, I really wish that the first thing is when I got married, like I was in heaven. And then I hardly, maybe it was my age and it was then and not now, but I did not imagine the responsibility it entails,
Right.
you know responsibility of a family, of children, of your career, and juggling all this. I had just no idea what I was getting into. Had I a choice, then I would have stepped up and say no, it's not for me. But what I feel on the hindsight is all this experience has made me grow into a better person.
Right.
So I'm glad I took the hard part.
Okay. And one more thing that you knew earlier, that you wish you knew earlier.
Yeah, so it's also like I would say I used to call myself shy, and because I used to think it was so ingrained in me, like I am an introvert, I'm shy. I actually went to a party with that, putting that, you could say that dress, of shy and an introvert, and
Okay.
because of which I would not interact with people. Okay. The moment I realized it's only a dress and I can throw it out any day and wear another dress of my choice, the whole my whole
Change.
thinking attitude changed. Like I will go and speak to people, and I realize the more I speak to people, the people speak to me and interact with me, and it's joy out there, versus me going there and nobody speaking to me, nobody cares. I also don't care. that shift, I didn't know it was just like wearing a dress and throwing it out.
Yeah. So your fears are technically just a dress. Change it.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. And advice that changed your life.
An advice that changed my life actually in the same light, or how I'd say it is, somebody told me like, when you're negative, when there's fear, when there's anxiety, you cannot take it away.
Right.
Right? It's like a room in darkness. At night, there's darkness, right? What you can do is you cannot remove the darkness, but you can add light.
Yes.
So similarly, when there's fear, instead of focusing on the fear or the anxiety, you focus on adding something positive in your life or to that situation.
Correct.
That's when the shift happens. I think that was an amazing advice.
Yes, makes a lot of
Think
sense.
about
And
it.
it's very relatable for everybody, I think. All right. So this episode has
Yeah.
been a lot more wide than I actually thought. But still, your last words of wisdom on the show.
Oh, I think I want everybody to just be in the moment. I mean, the fear will be there, like the COVID may not go away just like that. It might still be there for a year. So you cannot change something out there, but what you can change is how you bring yourself into the system, how you think, act now. Like that confidence comes from within you, and
Right.
you just bring it out, and things changes around you.
I think that's very well put. Thank you, Ms. Geeta. And I look forward to meeting you in person. I hope
Absolutely.
there is something that I can take away from the meeting as well, because I've gained a lot of, at least say, relatability and a little bit of openness in my head. I really think that this could aid a lot of people out there. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for taking the time.
Thank you, thank you. And I think the whole thing is not only about knowing and stopping there, it's about practicing what you know.
Right.
And the more you practice, that's when the sustainable change happens.
Connect. Stay consistent.
Right? Yes. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity again,
The
Priyanka.
pleasure
And
is
I'm
mine.
hoping to, yeah, meet you in person sometime very soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much.